Happy Friday. Welcome back to Wager Talk TV. This is First Pitch. You can find us here at 2 p.m. Eastern Time, Monday through Friday, joined by Dave Koken, Hunter Engelhardt, and Teddy Covers. I'll start with you, Hunter. First time working with you, first time doing a show. How are things, buddy?
Things are good. I was on a work trip this past week, so unfortunately I was unable to get on with you guys again, but this is my second time on, and I had a blast doing the show with Dave and I think Tony last time, so I'm looking forward to talking ball with you guys.
As far as work trip goes, does that mean some fun on that trip or strictly business?
I don't know if my wife will end up watching this, but I played a lot of golf and I did a lot of fly fishing. So
that's a work trip, all right.
So we'll go over things. What are today's packages? We'll start things off, I guess, with you, Hunter. What can we grab for you over at Sports Memo?
I got 2 plays up today, and if you read a little bit about my bio, I just think baseball is one pitch, so one pitch can totally change the game. So I try to use all of my plays at plus money lines. That's kind of the style that I do. I have 2 plays up right now. You can get them both for only $15. And then I also release plays daily that are for all access clients only. And I know we're running a special right now that ends on Sunday. I think that if one of you guys can remember the coupon code, I don't know, it's on the website, but you can get a full 7 days for only $69. So you guys should definitely take a look into that.
The coupon code is Week 69, WEEK, as opposed to WEAK, which we would never use. Week 69, and it's just a tremendous offer. And I'll use myself as an example. I'm rolling right now in baseball. It's been great. The best bets are 23-8-1. Swept the board yesterday, 3-0 on the diamond. I have 3 plays in baseball today. One is a best bet, another KBO best bet, and then another play in Major League Baseball. One of those you can't even buy unless you're an all-access client. The other 2 would cost you $50 just on their own. So you get everything for $69, and that'll include a hockey play that I've got as well. You get all my sports. So it's a really good deal. We hope you'll take advantage of it.
So like Dave said, the coupon code is Week 69. That is only good until Sunday, like Hunter mentioned, and less than $10 a day. Mr. Teddy Covers, you said on the last time we spoke, don't buy any packages today. Buy this deal. It's the best deal we're going to have offered for a little bit of time here, and it's a great way to save some money and get your favorite handicapper for long term. Teddy, what can we grab from you at both Wager Talk and Sports Memo?
Yeah, and whenever I talk to anyone, whether it's live, whether it's on video, I tell people don't buy my plays. Don't buy any individual play. If you want to get on board, get on board. If you go around play shopping, it's difficult to make a profit. And people, as you've been doing this, the longer you do it, the more you recognize that. You find someone you trust. Doesn't have to be me. I had a 2-0 sweep yesterday. I got no complaints about current form heading into Friday. But it doesn't matter. If you don't like me, Dave's pretty hot. Hunter's pretty good. You're rolling. It's not like this. And there's plenty of other guys as well. But I encourage people, don't buy individual plays, even the 5%ers. Get a package, and you can see what a capper can do for you or can't do for you at any given time. So for $69, that's less than $10 a day for 7 days of all access. And again, there's no bait and switch. You get all the big plays, all the 5% included, and you get everything in every sport. So for a guy like Dave that's doing multiple sports, for a guy like me, I think we're all doing multiple sports right now. You're not just getting MLB. You're getting everything. So it is a real good value. If you want to buy any individual plays, I got a baseball play for tonight. One of the guys we're going to talk about, and I got an NBA play up as well. But it's silly to do that. It's just not cost effective. And you're not getting the true sense of what a capper can do for you over the course of, how he caps, what his style is or anything. So for $69, it's almost a no-brainer.
Andrew, our esteemed host, you have been rocking and rolling. And in addition to what you've been giving out as selections, you're also posting some free stuff on Twitter. Over a goal and a half in the third period of the late game in the NHL. Another winner there, and good reason to follow you on Twitter.
Yeah, a lot of my free plays, of course, we can find free plays written up at our pages at wagertalk.com and both Sports Memo as well. But I'm active on Twitter. When I'm watching these games, I think the more you watch, the more you learn about these teams. A lot of people would say that. And find some certain betting strategies. So I appreciate that, Dave, and hope to keep rolling with it myself personally. One MLB play for today, one NBA, and a handful of NHL plays. It's elimination day, possibly in the NHL. So a couple situational angles that I look for in those games. I'll start with Yankees Rays, guys. We'll get right into it. It's a Friday afternoon. I'm sure a lot of people are ready to sit back, crack a cold one, and watch some baseball, America's pastime. I'll start with you here, Teddy. Yankees Rays.
So I haven't seen anything to be excited about for Tampa Bay thus far. This is a team that people came into the season and, watch out for the Rays. They're your sneaky team in the AL East. The starting pitching hasn't been good. Snell hasn't been particularly good. The bullpen's been spotty and overworked, and the lineup's not hitting. So they're not a team I'm in any rush right now to get to the window with. My concern about the Yankees, and the only reason I didn't play the Yankees, I'm really worried about this spot. Doubleheader on Wednesday, single game on Thursday, travel, single game on Friday, doubleheader again tomorrow. That's a brutal stretch.
Mm.
I wouldn't be shocked at all if somebody sits or if some of the key arms from the pen aren't ready. But even with that, I can only look towards the New York side in this one. I do not want the home team. Tampa's not in the, I'm a very much a current form handicapper, and the Rays bats are ice cold up and down the lineup.
Dave, to Teddy's point,
Snell,
these teams are playing a lot of games, and we have to take that into account here. What are you thinking here, Yankees Rays?
Well, we'll talk about Snell first. If you watch him, his stuff is as good as it's ever been. But he's making mistakes in like one inning of every game. And he did it again last game. He's rolling along against the Orioles, and all of a sudden, whammo, they go yard on him twice. So something is just not right there with his command. He's healthy. I don't think there's any worries there. His velocity is where it's supposed to be. But he's not a guy I can trust right now, and I particularly can't trust him because he's a lefty. And this Yankees lineup, oh my God, against lefties, it is just frightening. They've homered in 12 games in a row as it is, which I believe is a new team record, considering all the powerful teams they've had over the years. That kind of shocked me, but it just tells you how, this club can go bridge at any time. And you just kind of think that at some point Snell's going to have another bad inning, and the Yankees will take advantage of that. But the travel situation, it's an awful lot of games. And, Tanaka, I'm a little iffy on him right now. I don't know how long he's going to go. So it's a game I stayed away from. But, I can't play against the Yankees. That immediately crossed Tampa Bay off as a possibility. So it'd be the Yankees or nobody, and in this case it was nobody.
Hunter, we've seen this Yankees team be involved in some very high-scoring games. Total is 8.5 for obvious reasons. Starting pitching, definitely one of those reasons here. Where would you look here at the total, over, under, and also do you have a side play on this game?
Yeah, well, Dave, I couldn't agree with you more. Snell stuff does look great, but he is making mistake pitches, and he's so good that his mistake pitches aren't balls. His mistake pitches are strikes, and that's where he gets in trouble. And like you said here, one bad pitch an inning or so. This Yankees lineup, 1 through 9. It doesn't matter what inning he has bad pitches. They're gonna make him pay for it. So I agree with you. It's either Yankees or nothing here. And with Tanaka being on a short leash, his last year away ERA was over a 6. So Tanaka doesn't like sleeping in hotels and having to pitch on top of him having a short leash after this concussion. So I'm not on a side. If I had to pick a side, it'd be the Yankees, and I would think that there's going to be a lot of runs in this game. So I would lean towards the over as well.
We have a comment here from Paul saying, need to buy this. How do we sign up? You can head over to wagertalk.com or sportsmemo.com and go to the 7-day pass option. You scroll down to the very bottom right corner of our profile pages, click on the 7-day all access. And when you're checking out, it says coupon code, type in week 69. That'll help you out and give you that coupon code. And speaking of codes, the fellows talked about it off the start here, about a coupon code maybe for a week. But how about a longer term than that? How about a whole season of this Major League Baseball? If you like someone or somebody, and numerous handicappers, 399 MLB is the code to get any MLB handicapper for long term for the entire MLB season. And I'm with these guys. I think it's just better to get a large scale, get all the write-ups, get all the plays, 3, 4, 5%, whatever it is. Get all the action from your favorite handicapper at Sports Memo or Wager Talk. Reds, Brewers. I'll start in reverse order here. Hunter, Engelhardt, I'll start with you.
Yeah, see, this game, I think it's priced right. I'm completely staying away from it. Bauer has been outstanding this year, but he did He did pitch against the Tigers. Lauer, I liked him last year as well, but I mean, these guys are hitting 247 against him when there's runners on base, and they're hitting 287 with runners on base with an OPS of 822 for Lauer. This Reds team has really been hard to figure out. They're severely underperforming from what they were supposed to be this year.
What else is
If
new?
there's one guy to bet on, it's Trevor Bauer. But in this situation here, I'm just staying away. There's too many unknowns for me. So like I said, I'm passing on this game, and it's a coin flip. And if you have the money to bet a coin flip, I think it's priced right.
Dave, yeah, you're the one selecting these games day in, day out here on this show for our 3 in-depth games. We've seen the Reds pop up here in our in-depth games. What do you think about this team overall so far to start the season off and this matchup here against the Brewers?
They were overrated last year, and it appears they might be overrated again this year. They just don't seem to be able to put the pieces together. This year, it's the bullpen, which is failing them. It's supposed to be a decent bullpen on paper, but it's not performing that way. I don't know. The franchise just can't seem to get it right. There is talent on this roster. There's no question about that. They've got Bauer, he rates an edge over Lauer as far as the rhyming pitchers go in this game. But the Brewers got something last night that I think could matter, and that's Christian Yelich finally breaking out a little bit. Had a good game. He hit an inside the park home run when the guy fell into the net, which was, I've never seen that happen before. That's a new one. That's because you never had nets going all the way out before. Guy basically, he looked like, if you ever been to the circus and you see a guy jump off the high wire into the net and he's thrashing all over the place. That's what happened to the left fielder, and Yelich took advantage and turned it into an inside the parker. That was big, though, for Yelich, who's really been struggling, and it really only takes one game for a superstar like that to get going, and wouldn't be surprised if he has a good game tonight. I priced this at 128, so it's clearly a no play for me, but gut feeling is the Brewers might be ready to start to play a little bit better. They've got to put some things in the rearview mirror. I think the Lorenzo Cain opting out was definitely a hit in every respect to that baseball team. Defensively, they lose a great glove in center field. I think he's one of the clubhouse leaders. But you get over that. They had a good game, and maybe they can carry it through here. And Lauer is respectable. He's he's not the type of guy who's going to blow away the opposition, but he can give you 6 innings and keep you in the game with 3 runs. And if he can do that, they'll have a really good chance to win.
Another thing I forgot to mention, Dave, I'm glad you brought it up, is this with Yelich. Bauer has been really bad against lefties last year. They were hitting over 250 off of him. So if there's a spot where this heavy lefty lineup Brewers offense can have a second good game in a row, I think today against Bauer's it.
So, Teddy, we look at this, obviously, shorter season, but more teams make the playoffs. And you mentioned you're in the category of a current form type of handicapper. I fall on that big time as well. He talks about Yelich, and I've actually been in action with this Brewers team a couple of times or had a total with them. Yelich up to bat, and I'm wondering what's going on here. What's happening? But usually when we have so many games, 162, these guys have more time to get into it. Is it a kind of a spot here where you would agree with Dave, where it's like ride the hot guy, ride someone that just kind of got going, or wait a little bit longer to see where it goes?
So in general, we're going to have to react to things relatively quickly. And what we're seeing is that any little slump gets magnified. We don't have a little slump here for Cincinnati. We have a big slump. And Dave said it was a bullpen. I'm going to disagree. I think the Reds' biggest flaw so far this season, they can't score.
Yeah, you're right. It's their hitting. Castellanos is like the only guy hitting on the team. You're right.
Yeah, I mean, they've scored 15 runs their last 7 games. They've been shut out back-to-backs. And you're telling me that Trevor Bauer, I just beat the Tigers twice, is ready for a hot Brewers lineup in Milwaukee? I'm not buying that. I think the wrong team's favored here. Brewers are pass for me. And under, if I'm going to get involved total-wise in a game against the Cincinnati. Again, since he's not hitting, and when they're not hitting and not playing at home, I want no part of a Reds over right now. It'd be under or pass for total-wise for me.
Once again, you're watching First Pitch right here on Wager Talk TV. You can tune in right here on Wager Talk for numerous episodes every single day. We've got soccer shows, hockey shows, Major League Baseball, football previews, so much action, so much stuff going on this channel. We are about 300 subscribers away from the big number, 50,000 subscribers on this channel. Do us the favor. If you have 5, 10, 15 accounts for some reason, sign into those accounts as well. Subscribe with those. I know probably a lot of people do have different accounts for probably reasons they shouldn't be. But I would go ahead and say, hey, subscribe with those as well and help us out here. We hope you're enjoying the free content that Wager Talk does provide. I want to start with you here, Dave. This time, Astros Athletics. Astros, a team that I'm not looking to be a part of. The A's, a team that I've had success being a part of, or betting on, I should say. First of all, I want to ask your opinion on the price here, and then your opinion on the side in total.
This is a game where I've got a conflict because my numbers indicate I ought to be playing Houston, but I just don't like the team right now. And you have to factor that in because the number I'm making is based on overall performance. I make two numbers. One is overall, and the other is more current form, but really we're in the period of the season was so early, I'm still basically using just the overall number. And, Greinke rates an edge over Bassett, but Greinke might have an arrow down next to him. His stuff looks a little more marginal so far this season. Oakland's starting to get hot. The Astros, I don't believe in karma to much extent, but there may be some bad karma with the Astros right now. And I don't think I mind that. I think I'm with most fans as far as that goes. If you're an Astros fan, sorry about that, but what that team did was just dead wrong. And they're coming off a bad loss and having to travel to face an Oakland team that has suddenly gotten revved up. So it's a conflict for me where I think the price maybe offers a little value on the Astros, but I don't like them in this spot, and I probably my gut says the Oakland A's are the right side in this game.
Teddy, I'm not sure if I mentioned this the last time you were on the show. I talked about this, but I've obviously had fun with everybody with making fun of this Astros team. There's a Twitter account that I've been following called the Houston Astros 2020 Shame Tour, just posting them getting hit and the striking out and all that kind of stuff. And you mentioned to us before we started the show, this Astros team is definitely not a team that you're getting excited about betting on, at least here. What are you thinking here in this matchup, A's and Astros?
So I don't think Houston's any good, flat out. And my biggest concern is that we talked about Yelich getting going yesterday from Milwaukee. Altuve was on base 4 times for the Astros, but 3 of them are walks. He got 1 hit. But that is a concern. But yeah, we're talking about the key bats of Altuve and Springer, both below the Mendoza line still. More than anything with Houston, what we saw last night against the Angels, that will happen again and again. Their bullpen is in shambles.
It's all rookies.
And, Osuna, the closer, hurt now. Presley couldn't get an out last night. They got a 2-run lead in the 7th. Who do they put in? Nobody we can trust. I'll put it that way. So, number one, I'm not playing Astros games under right now because I don't trust that bullpen. I'm not excited about playing them over because I don't trust the lineup either. My inclination, fade Houston and fade them again. The Astros, even with Dave, I understand the concept of Greinke. Greinke's not good. Greinke wasn't that good last year for extended stretch. He's certainly not someone I trust right out of the gate. Houston or pass for me. Sorry, Oakland or pass against Houston for me. Let me make that very clear.
Teddy Covers on Twitter at Teddy_covers. Hunter, I'll throw it to you. First time doing a show with you. We've had some fun bashing this Astros team, but with all seriousness here, what do you think here in this Astros-A's matchup? And do the Astros pick things up at all?
Well, I'm going to disagree with Dave and Teddy here. I think if you can get the Astros for plus money in this matchup, I think you got to take them first 5. But I agree with them with the bullpen struggle. So if you're going to take the Astros as an underdog, you got to take them first 5. Altuve, Bregman, Gurriel, Springer, and Maldonado are all hitting above 300 against Bassett. Bassett's started really, really well. But this team, we know they're struggling, but these guys are effing good. They are athletes. They can hit the ball. Whether they know a pitch is coming or not, they are good. I like Greinke in this situation. The A's are actually hitting only 193 against right-handed starters this year. So if you're going to take, it's very rare to see the Astros at plus money in this situation. I'm going to be on the Astros first 5 or no play at all.
Now take
somebody in the chat. Somebody in the chat mentioned Tampa Bay, my game of the year. I want to bring that up. I want to bring that up because at Wager Talk we have a rule. There are no games of the year. It's one of the worst things you could. And believe me, I used to do them. I've been in this business forever, and they were big sellers. And when they win, it's great. But the problem is people go nuts on these plays, absolutely bananas on the plays, and they're not all going to win. So we made a rule at Wager Talk. Nobody does games of the years. You will never see one posted by anybody at Wager Talk. I would urge everybody to adapt that philosophy. If you think there's an actual game of the year, then it's the only game you should bet all year. It's as simple as that.
You know
if it's not that good, then get rid of that terminology and take a different approach.
My personal opinion, and I'm not saying I haven't ever done this before. I don't really. I think it applies as well for the game of the month, game of the week.
I don't do them. I do none of those.
If it's a Monday afternoon, how can we say we have a game of the week? You're
Exactly.
handicapping the rest of the week. How do we? It's the start of the week. That's just my personal opinion. I'm not saying anyone does that. I just think that you could say, play of the day. Maybe it's your favorite pick of the day, but you don't know what you're going to like on Thursday.
Yeah, I think you can do something along those lines in football, where all the games on Sunday basically or Saturday college football during a normal year, and your favorite game can be your game of the week. But I've gotten rid of all that terminology. No more games of the month or anything like that. It's just they're great marketing tools, but they're really bullshit. Okay.
My favorite one is the word lock. I got a message the other day that said, "What's the hockey lock today?" I don't know. Watch the show, take a couple of picks that we give, and hope that one of them is a so-called lock, because this wouldn't be gambling. Teddy, wouldn't it be great if you can get an email from someone saying, "Yeah, take the Oilers, take the Yanks today. They're gonna win."
That'd be real nice. But again, I'll use yesterday's newspaper once, and we're all set for life. So lock is bugging you, and I don't want to make this a long distraction, but the one that I get that makes me crazy. What's the safe bet? The
safe bet is no bet. There's no bet is the safe bet.
I don't even understand that mentality. Is what's the safest bet? The safest bet is the biggest favorite on the money line, I guess. Not. I don't understand I genuinely don't even understand the question. So if someone
I've never gotten that, Teddy.
I get that a lot.
Really?
I've gotten it recently. So if someone in the chat knows why, what that question actually means, let me know, because I don't understand it.
I needed that laugh. Honestly, it's been a long day. Needed that laugh. That's great. We've got Baltimore taking on Washington. This is part of our show, the MLB Rundown Quick Hit. So each handicapper will get a chance to talk about a game. We'll go down the rotation order. I'm going to start with you, Hunter. We'll go here with Washington. Baltimore, we got Sanchez on the mound here for the Nats.
I think it's Nationals or stay away in this situation. I don't trust Malone at all, and I think the Nationals can put up a lot of runs early. So it's going to be the first 5 over for me and lean Nationals.
Over to you, Dave, here with this Braves-Phillies matchup.
Let's see. I've got Wright and Velasquez, and I made the number 114. There you go. It's priced about right. Nice walk-off for the Braves last night for me as well, because I had the Braves. Nick Markakis, his first hit since coming back, and he drove it over the fence. Walk it off, Nick Markakis, and help me get to a 3-0. Those kind of things can carry over. Philly's coming out of a big series. I think anytime you play the Yankees, it's a big series. Situationally, I favor the Braves. By the way, quick update: the Islanders now up 4-1 against the Panthers. So if you're on the puck line with the Islanders, you might be looking pretty good right now. And watch out for that over a goal and a half in the third period, because the Panthers are probably going to have to pull the goalie shortly, and there's already one score, so probably going to be more. That's a good bet, by the way. In these elimination games, just to drop in some NHL, Andrew, I know you like him. I like him as well. Live bet over a goal and a half third period if the team facing elimination is behind.
Yeah, and not just that, but anybody out here watching, I know it's an MLB show, but elimination games, bet the puck line. Bet the -1.5. Don't bet the money line. I turned a -115 into a +200 on the puck line. A lot of times you're going to see a marginal victory with that type of stuff. Speaking of game of the months, games of the year, I got one for you right here, Teddy. How about Pittsburgh taking on the Detroit Tigers?
Ooh.
Yeah. So the Pirates showed life yesterday, rallied from behind, stole a win. Is that momentum for Pittsburgh? I'm not convinced that it is. And
does that term work with them?
In terms of profitable strategies, the concept of betting against the Pirates off a win, I certainly wouldn't talk you out of it.
They haven't won 2 in a row yet.
Exactly. And on my list of teams to fade, Pittsburgh's pretty high. Now, it's not like Detroit's a bargain here. You're laying a price on the highway with a bad Tigers team, but I do think they're better than the Pirates. Worth noting, just real quick, Atlanta, Philly, I don't trust either starter. I don't trust either bullpen. That to me, it smells like an over. I don't know if you guys have an opinion on that one at all.
I think the Atlanta bullpen is starting to kind of come around. I think the Braves bullpen is going to be okay long term. They've got some pretty good arms out there.
Sure,
go ahead. Sorry, Teddy.
So I was just saying, with all the injuries they've had to their starting staff, I think that bullpen may never live up to expectations because they're going to be overused.
Hunter, Miami Marlins taking on the Mets here. First of all, I want to get your thoughts on the total here. We saw it at 9, now 8.5 at some shops here. With this Mets team, where are you looking at with totals?
They're a fastball hitting team, in my opinion. The Marlins are 6-1 right now. Who would have ever believed that they're 6-1? It's crazy. I try to stay away from betting the Marlins, but I'm not on this game personally. Michael Wacha is literally a coin flip. He either has great stuff like he did in St. Louis, or he just looks like he belongs in AAA. So if I were to take anything in this game, I would take the over, staying away from sides, and the under.
Quick note on Castano, who was making his debut for the Marlins. He's a lefty. He's been around the organization. He actually was, I think, drafted by the Cardinals. Not a high draft choice. Was never really considered a prospect. And then had a little bit of a breakout at Double-A last year. He's a ground ball pitcher. He doesn't have great velocity, but he's got good control. He does have to get ground balls to be successful. He's not going to blow hitters away with his stuff. So just a little bit of info on the lefty debuting for the Miami Marlins against the Mets.
Rourke on the mound, Dave, taking on Weber. Blue Jays, Red Sox, got that bobblehead right behind you. I bet you wish he was probably in the batting lineup for the Red Sox, or maybe on the mound for them. What are you thinking here in this matchup?
Let me ask him. Is Ryan Weber somebody you would ever bet on? You dumb bastard. And it's supposed to be.
It's only going to go one way.
That's a really old bobblehead. I got this bobblehead when I was a kid. So that bobblehead is like probably about 60 years old. And there's a couple of pieces broken off the back. But yeah. Anyway, Ryan Weber has not shown the ability to get major league hitters out. And he will face major league hitters here. The scheduling dynamics actually favor Boston a little bit in this game. But for me, if you're looking for a fantasy lineup to stack tonight, I might take my chances with the Blue Jays against Ryan Weber. He's not very good.
Minnesota taking on KC around minus 145, 150 favorites here. Mr. Teddy Covers.
KC, offense went nuts.
Boy. You know it.
Is this a sign for things to come for the Royals? I wouldn't count on it. But they're a better offensive team than most of the other bottom feeders. I will say that for Kansas City. I do believe that. And we've seen the signs of that from KC. And, Minnesota is a lot better than Kansas City. So if you're making a case for the dog here, you better have a pretty good reason why, and I don't. But at the same time, KC was hitting yesterday. Minnesota does not. There's no ace on the hill today for the Twins. I wouldn't be surprised if this is a relatively high-scoring game. Lean over, and if I had to take a side, I'd lean to the dog.
comment here from we have Mark here saying, I just purchased an all access, but it says you must purchase before reading. Mark, I'd recommend refreshing the page and then go into your members area where it says my plays, whichever handicapper or whoever handicapper you got from. You will be able to see the plays. And if not, email support@wagertalk.com. We have the best customer service team in the game that is not biased. They are the best, and they will help you out most certainly. So I hope that is handled. And if not, Mark, DM me on Twitter @McGinnis and I'll try and do my best to help you out and make sure that you can see plays from the person that you purchased plays from. We're going to go with the LA Angels, Texas Rangers here. I'll throw it over to you, Hunter.
I'm all in on Canning. Canning today, he's actually my sleeper for daily fantasy. He's coming off a big win against the Astros where he threw 6 innings pitched, only gave up 1 earned run. I know we talked about the Astros being cold and all that stuff, but they are still the Astros. And Texas is only hitting 181 at home. I really like Canning's stuff. He's a young guy. He's got stuff to prove. I'm sure he's learning a ton from Joe Madden. So I'm on the Angels today if I had to pick one.
D-backs take on the Padres. We have somebody here in the chat box saying, Dave, ask Bobo the cat. We have some requests here for your cat to get involved in the show.
I don't think the cat doesn't know much about sports.
Probably watches enough sports, though, no?
No, he has no interest in TV. I have had animals that are fascinated by TV, especially if there's like animals on there. But this guy, he doesn't. He's old. He just likes to sleep and eat. What game is this? Me on this game?
Diamondbacks Padres.
All right, so let's talk a little bit about Luke Weaver, who's got great stuff and has no idea where he's throwing the ball so far this season. But that should start changing. There's nothing wrong with him health-wise. His velo is actually up a little bit. He's still getting a ton of swings and misses. His strikeout rate is absurd. His control has been horrible. But, I think maybe it's just the fact that he got off to a late start in summer camp and was behind some of the other guys. I mean, I've watched him pitch, and I mean, he's got great stuff. He's got way better stuff than Zach Davies, who is the prototypical number 5 starter, who you hope will give you 6 innings and 3 runs. Davies, he's changed his arsenal a bit this year. He's still throwing the same 3 pitches, but he's throwing more changeups and cutters than he has before. Changeup 79, the cutters in the mid-80s. This is a guy who's very hittable. And the Diamondbacks do get some momentum coming out of 2 good wins against the Astros. Padres had yesterday off, which I think is a relief for them because their bullpen's been just a horror show. These teams have already played 4 games. They're familiar with each other. Do you have the guts to back Luke Weaver, despite the fact that he's looked really bad so far? I'd take that gamble. I would go Weaver here. I like the momentum, and I think the fact that the Diamondbacks are actually plus a little bit, not the worst bet on the board.
You're watching First Pitch right here on Wager Talk TV, not just a 5-day-a-week show, but also a 7-day-a-week show. We're going to have a show Saturday and Sunday. I think it's very important. Dave had a great idea to get some action in on the weekends. Have a show, have some content on the weekends, because as we all know, some great baseball action and great betting opportunities on the weekends well.
I also wanted it because I intend to break Cal Ripken's consecutive game streak. I'm going to do every show. And so far I haven't missed one, and I intend to keep this going for the next 20 years. I won't know what I'm talking about at that point, but I'll show up anyway.
Teddy, I've seen you numerous times make titles on the websites as Ride the Hot, Fade the Cold. And next one I have up here for you is Colorado and Seattle. I'm looking to fade this young Seattle team. I like Colorado. I like the price that they have. Would you disagree with me?
It's not a game I'm involved with because there's enough of the case to be made for the Mariners tonight that I'm not looking to ride the hot in Colorado. The first place Colorado Rockies. Mm-hmm. But Kikuchi's shown enough that he's someone that we have to pay attention to at this stage. And Colorado, when you're talking about this price range with the Vastleys, with a team that's hotter and hitting better and everyone's in love with, Colorado is as public a play as you'll find in MLB for today, which, again, it's not anything that is going to talk me specifically off a game. If I'm close, it's a public play, all right, so be it. But this isn't one where I was close to getting with Colorado. And Senzatella and the Rockies bullpen behind him, I know that the one thing Seattle has done consistently, they're taking good at-bats. They may not have the most potent lineup, but I've liked their approach at the plate. They may serve them well this evening against a Rocky staff that could be vulnerable.
I wanted to talk about this game for a moment myself because this is one of those games that jumps out to me from one aspect. Well, first of all, you want to call it sharp money. That's on the Mariners. And the Rockies are going to be a public dog tonight. Now, I'm not a big public or I don't care what people are betting, but I've always been leery of public dogs. When the public thinks the underdog is the right side, en masse, they're wrong more often than right. And that's going to be the case tonight. The Rockies are going to get the majority of the tickets here, and the Mariners are they're moving up as a favorite. And I'll throw this in on Kikuchi, who I completely trashed on one of the earlier shows. He's not the same guy he was last year. He's throwing like 3 miles an hour faster this year. He's found a fastball that's now getting up there 95, 96. That's a whole different pitch. So I don't know whether he maintains it or not, and I'm not backing the Mariners in this game, but I'd be a little leery. In fact, I'll throw it out now. The fantasy bargain to me, I would take a shot with Kikuchi at a low price against the Rockies team that does not hit on the road. They were the worst offense on the road last year. I know they've done a little better so far this year, but it's a very small sample. I think Kikuchi might help you as far as daily fantasy sports are concerned.
Dave Koken, my co-host right here on First Pitch on Wager Talk TV. Find him on Twitter at Dave Koken. Always some fun hot takes from you, Dave. I love seeing you bash players or teams. It's always enjoyable to read. Hunter Engelhardt at sportsmemo.com. What are you thinking here? We have the last game, Giants, Dodgers, and this series kind of kicked things off here in this shortened MLB season. We kind of described this opening series between these two teams as a bad performance from the Dodgers, but they still won by, pretty much promising victories. And I want to get your thoughts on that. I mean, I don't really see much changing here from this next series.
No, I mean, this Dodgers team, in my opinion, is definitely World Series bound. I mean, Mookie Betts is by far the best player in baseball. I mean, he does every little thing correct, every big thing correct. He is just a pure baseball guy. And I think Jeff Samar just smokes way too much weed to be able to keep this team too low. So I think the Dodgers are going to absolutely – I can see them scoring 6-7 runs off Samardzija in 3-4 innings. So it's Dodgers or no play for me. And it's priced, pretty right to me. So if you really want to risk it, risk the run line or no play.
This is our last game we're covering for the quick hits. So I'll go around the horn here. Start with you, Teddy. Any thoughts on this matchup?
So, my inclination is to look at Dodgers run line in these type of games. Although is Mookie going to be in the lineup today? Because he's been dealing with that finger all week.
I think I have a feeling he'll be back in tonight.
That is not. I haven't seen a confirmation of that.
No, and it's early. That's a late game, so the lineup probably won't be available for a few hours.
Sure, but the Dodgers are. And it's worth noting their bullpen cracked finally the first time against San Diego the other night. They were up 7-2, and the final score was 7-6, which is a run line killer. And the Padres left a runner on third in I think 3 of the last 4 innings of that ball game. And that's the first time all year we've seen that Dodger bullpen get hit. But when it comes to late inning outs, only one of these two teams has shown the ability to get late inning outs, and that matters a lot when you're talking about run line plays.
And also, I'll just mention this. I don't think the Dodgers are going to take this one for granted, which is bad news for the Giants because, after destroying them in 2 games to start the season, the Giants won the next 2. This is a rivalry. This is still a heated rivalry, even if no fans are there. The teams don't like each other. And I think the Dodgers might be a little bit pissed off about losing those 2 to the Giants. And if they get a chance to wipe them out here, they could do it. So you want to take a shot, have some fun with something, might go alternate run line. Minus 2.5 runs. Take a shot with that.
I agree, Dave. These guys are going to be pissed off about those last 2 games, and they're a team you don't want to wake a sleeping bear. So I totally agree with you.
And also something I like to mention, just to top things off with this Dodgers discussion, team totals Hunter mentioned, he doesn't really seem like it'll be too hard for this team to put up some runs here. I think a lot of times eliminate some of these numbers you can get. Look towards the team total. Hunter, I'm going to start with you here. Our latest segment that we've implemented here to Wager Talk at the first pitch, DFS stud and sleeper. You kind of teased us already, but if you could please just go through some of your DFS analogies.
Yeah, I'm going to be on Canning today. I think he has a great day, especially coming off Astros. Young kid, he's going to have confidence going into this game. So my sleeper would probably be Canning. He's not really at the bottom like Kikuchi is, but I mean, I think he's still going to get you 35, 40 points maybe if you're looking in that direction. And my dud, I don't have a stud. I have a dud who's going to be Trevor Bauer. I think tonight we see him regress. I think we see him give up 2 or 3 runs in 4 or 5 innings. So that's where I'm at.
What about yourself, Mr. Koken?
I'll go ahead with Kikuchi as the sleeper tonight. And for stud, take your pick of the Blue Jays. You got a chance to get that short porch, the Green Monster, working for you against Ryan Weber. So find some lower-priced Blue Jays and look for them to maybe have some good offense this evening. Rowdy Tellez, even though he's a lefty hitter, might be a really good candidate because he's actually swinging the bat reasonably well. And you would think that some success against Ryan Weber.
Teddy, not just pitchers, but if you're looking to kind of fill your lineup, which I hope to do someday on this show, actually create a lineup, maybe share my screen, because I think it'd be very cool to do that and not just give out a pitcher or 2 or 1 batter. Who are you looking to add to your lineup if you're creating a fantasy MLB lineup today?
I want some Oakland A's. I absolutely want some Oakland A's. And, Chris Davis was the one that stood out to me. He's back in the lineup. He has 4 hits over his last 2 games, including a homer, 4 RBIs. He's finding his rhythm. And I think Greinke is very hittable right now, as is the bullpen behind him. So I would look to stack some A's in my lineup. And lots of A's have gotten off offensively to slow starts. And you're going to get some cheap prices with some of the Oakland regulars today.
And once again, the coupon code to check out here. This is our Friday show. This coupon code does expire on Sunday, week 69, to get a week of any handicappers at both Sports Memo or Wager Talk. And it's less than $10 a day. It's the way to go, especially if you're a higher volume guy. You're not just looking for 1 play a day. You'll get it right to your email. You can actually email customer service, get it right to your mobile device. It's that easy. You'll get the rating, 3%, 4%, 5%, sometimes the 2% as well, and cash in with one of our handicappers. I want to take the time to appreciate all of our viewers. We have such lively chat boxes, whether it's, a how-to video, a betting 101 video, or just going over the MLB, NHL slate, NBA slate, whatever it is. If I don't get to one of your comments, guys, I see a bunch of comments here on the screen. We do appreciate. We have Justin here, Alex, Douglas, Edward, Johnny, so many guys tuning in. If I do not mention your name, it's very, very, it's not on purpose. It's very appreciated. You tune in.
That's on purpose. Don't believe him.
That's definitely what I'm thinking. For Teddy, for Hunter, for Dave, I'm Andrew, and we'll see you on Monday. Or I'll see you on Monday.
You'll see, yeah, we'll see everybody.
Dave will see you.
Mid-major Matt, myself, and Tony Finn, and I forget who's on tomorrow, but we've got our shows on Saturday and Sunday, noon Eastern time, 9 a.m. Pacific time on the weekends.
All right, so on behalf of these guys, Wager Talk TV, the whole entire family here, have a great weekend. Best of luck with your wagers, and I'll see you on Monday.